Yes.
I said do it. It's like creepy.
Do it again.
Huh?
Do it again.
No, because you're gonna laugh at me.
I'm not. They're all gonna laugh at you. I'm not gonna laugh.
And I liked.
I'm totally gonna share that with our Buy Me Coffee members.
I did it to creep out Sean too sometimes because he didn't like.
It's really fucking creepy. It's not.
But she was really creepy.
Attractive.
She was really, really good.
She
was really good and creepy to me.
Hello, I'm Dalia.
And I'm Alma. This is Nightmare on 5th Street, a horror movie podcast.
Welcome, everybody. I don't know why I always try to say...
Dalia is Vincent Price today.
I always try to do some stupid accent when I'm... Because it's so weird when I'm just like, hey, everybody.
The accent. Wouldn't it be cool if we had an accent? That's what I mean. It's like if I had a cool accent. I always wanted to have a cool accent. I know everybody says like regional, wherever you're from, and people can tell you're not from there. But I honestly think I don't have anything. Like you can't guess where I'm from. I really don't. I really don't think you could guess.
Can you guess where I'm from?
What?
Can you guess where I'm from?
I don't know.
Sorry, I was making a stupid face, people. Anyways, okay, so today we are going to be discussing Ojuju, and I am going to apologize to everybody for that this is a week late, but I did have some, it's my fault. I'll take full blame. I had some health issues and that just kind of snowballed into this and that. And let's push it off another day until it finally came to be Thursday. And it's like, we're supposed to have an episode today. I'm so sorry. And Alma so graciously said, just like, quit fucking thinking too much about it. It's okay. It's just a podcast.
It's just chill.
It's fun.
Also, you're taking full credit, but there was one day when you were totally available and then I wasn't. So, we all had our lots of shit. It was like a shit storm for me last week of shit. I think it's like shit storm of shit.
A shit storm?
Yeah.
Did it hit the fan?
Yeah. And it was like a tornado effect of shit. And then it all just kind of like, And then it was like, let's just relax.
Yeah, we did.
We had those 2 episodes we were able to make out of one live stream that we did with Sheree, and so we're fine. So this week we're gonna have 2 episodes, right?
Yeah,
put out 2.
Well, kind of. Okay, so we ended up having those 2 bonus episodes that we shared with everybody. So y'all didn't get a new episode in our usual format this last week, but we did release 2 bonus episodes, which were from Alma's birthday live stream.
From my birthday.
And what movies did we discuss, Alma? Then?
The Thing and Carrie.
Yeah. So The Thing and Carrie was a really long live stream episode. It was 2 hours. So we cut that in half. And those are shorter episodes for y'all because y'all know that me and Alma can just fucking talk all
We will talk
day.
and talk and talk and talk.
And so that ended up being 2 episodes. So we got Carrie and The Thing as bonus episodes. And so if you haven't listened to those yet, do so. I am seeing that those episodes are being gobbled up on
I was so happy
analytics.
To see it.
Yeah, I was. Not that I'm not saying like, of course people like those movies, but it's just interesting when you see people actually enjoying them as much as you did. It's like, yay, it's so exciting. Of course, Sheree from Nightmare on 5th Street joined
because
us.
we had like special guests that made it like special.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I was like, for a while, I was thinking, how do you add somebody into the mix? But it was so easy. And I think it was like even better because she's like, she's so relaxing. And it just, she made me so comfortable that it made us feel like we could have had thrown a 3rd movie in there, made a 3rd episode.
Oh, we could have talked all night.
And not even noticed. Yep. So we got to do that again, not just.
Well, we kind of are because by the time this episode comes out, this episode comes out on Thursday, the 12th, August 12th. On August 13th, Friday the 13th, you and I, Alma, are going to be on Nightmare on 5th Street with Sheree and Trent, and we are going to be doing what movie, Alma?
Oh, Friday the 13th. This is really good because Alia is like glossing over the fact that I found this out via Twitter.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
And she just told me yesterday in person, but a couple of weeks ago, of course, I saw like a tweet from Nightmare on 5th Street that she was doing this that they were going to do this bonus episode, or I think it's a bonus, or
I'm not quite sure, but it's they're definitely doing a live stream.
A live stream of it, and I was like, oh well, that's good. And I didn't say boo. And then Dalia tells me yesterday, Did I tell you we're gonna do this thing with Nightmare on Fierce Street?
Okay, so to be fair, I talk in my head a lot, and I think I say things out loud. Or sometimes I'll say, "Oh, I gotta make sure I tell Alma this or whatever," and then I think I actually did because I was thinking about it so hard. So I thought I did tell you. Then it got to the point where I realized I didn't tell you, and I'm like, "Shit, I tell her."
Well, I hope she's available.
And yeah, so I had agreed to do it because because I knew. It's not like, okay, some things, obviously, most things I will check in with Alma and be like, hey, can you do this? Because I'm not going to commit her to something that she doesn't want to do or can't do. So but I knew she would do this because it's like Friday the 13th. Of course, Alma would do it. She would fucking like blow off her kids and say, oh, you're graduating high school today? Fuck it.
Do that.
No, I'm just kidding. She wouldn't do that. But I know her schedule, sort of. So that's why I felt okay agreeing to it. And I apologize, Alma. And it's so funny, though, because when I told her, her husband's sitting next to her. And the second I start talking, she kind of like, not hits him, but like when you get someone's attention, you tap them. Yeah. So she like taps him and she's like, and she points like, here it comes. I was like,
I was waiting for you to bring it up because I knew. Oh, by the way, did we mention that Dalia and I are kind of in the same room? We're totally together. Can you see me? Yeah. I'll give you a second.
Hi. So if you're just listening, obviously you don't see that. But if you're watching us too, you can see that both of our faces melded into, what's that song? It's a song. Oh, great. Now it's going to be on a fucking tick like we just did with the fucking Def Leppard song.
We were trying to remember Pour Some Sugar on Me.
And we just kept saying one line over and over and over. And over and over. And it was so annoying. And I couldn't get out of it. It became a tick. I just kept saying that one part. I'm like, I can't get out of it. I'm stuck in the maelstrom. What is it? Maelstrom? Maelstrom. And then Malmstrom is the Air Force Base.
Yes, Maelstrom
is
the Air Force Base.
All right. So
anyway, yes, Dalia came down to visit and we're together in the Grande Valley. We've been able to shop. She came and got all of the best Mexican shirts. We visited my favorite Tumblr.
She's holding a tumbler from the Glittered Pumpkin that is a Freddie. Yeah, there you go.
Freddie inspired tumbler here, and I love this. I'm kind of addicted, but anyway, we visited.
You'll have to post this on the day that this episode comes out so people can see what you're referring to.
Oh, yeah. From the Glitter Pumpkin. And we were able to visit my favorite t-shirt shop from Four Little Birds. And I'm wearing a t-shirt
right now. She's showing off her boobies to everybody.
The Shrek Leatherface barbecue.
It's really inappropriate and I love it. It's absolutely inappropriate.
Yes. And so it's great. And then Dalia, most importantly, because you really need some authentic handmade Mexican shirts, and she can get them
from actual fucking Mexicans. People.
Yes, and so she got a whole bunch of them. Yep. That way she can.
Because I could find the stuff up north, but it's fucking expensive as hell, and sometimes not even made by Mexicans. So.
And here you can find a good price. It's not like we're ripping anybody off or anything.
We're not.
Oh no, it's not like you're not gonna get anything cheap if it's authentic. It's made beautiful, and I love the embroidery. I even have like my scrunchies and my earrings from beadwork that's handmade and everything. And I love
beadwork
because it's like beautiful. It makes it beautiful. It's like a special touch when it's handmade. It's like it's a little gift for you. But anyway, so Dalia's here, and we have and it feels wonderful to have her with me because we're watching movies together. And we're recording, and it's just like we should just record when we're sitting on the couch, just like
we should. Except that, I like a little more back support though sometimes. Yeah, so that's why I prefer to sit like this. I mean, right now it looks stiff, but it's really good for my back. Yeah. But anyways, nobody wants to hear me talk about my bad back anymore. So, Alma, what movie are we discussing right now?
Okay, well, let's get into it. We watched Ojuju, and I hope I'm pronouncing that very, that's the best I can. I'm trying very hard. It is written and directed by CJ, and he has a nickname, Fiery Obasi. Ooh. And he wrote and directed. This movie has like a zero budget. Okay, let's hype up this movie real quick.
Like literally a zero budget.
I thought of something that Scott Dunn did during our interview. That we had asked him a question, and he said, when we were asking him if he had any tips on people making movies.
Yeah.
And he said, sometimes you just got to just do it. Right. He could have waited for the backing of a budget, a studio and all that. And instead he was like, no, let's make this movie. And they did it. And I was just like, zero budget.
Zero budget.
Okay.
That's amazing.
So he had been visiting a friend in the slum location and began to develop a story.
Oh, wait, real quick. Sorry. This movie is made by Nigerians. So that's, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. And the language, the entire film is in a pidgin, and it says pidgin English, but I'm not sure if that's correct, but it's a mixture of Yoruba and Igbo. Mr. Obasi had been visiting a friend in the slum location, began to develop a story based on the unique features of the area, such as its one exit in, one exit out feature, as well as the fact that the area had only one source of water where everyone fetched from. He felt that based on the premise, which through a recent UNICEF report had placed half the population of Nigeria as not having access to clean drinking water and listing toxic contaminations as the majority of the cause of the water pollution, it was feasible enough to create a story that affected the common Nigerian. Okay, so that's where he was inspired for this film. And in it, the Ojuju are like zombies.
Yes.
Okay,
and
so that's what
I found interesting that he said that he wasn't going to use the word zombies because he says that word is hardly ever used where they're from to describe zombies. So it didn't make sense to use it. So that's where he got Ojuju from. But and he said that, what else did he say? Albasi felt it would be more realistic to eliminate any supernatural elements to the plot and localize the zombie genre for the Nigerian environment rather than trying to do a Hollywood version of what a zombie film ought to be. So, and it was. As we start talking about the movie, if you haven't seen it, remember we always give spoilers. So if you want to hear spoilers, we'll let you know when we're going to give the ending. But I don't know. I just found it really interesting because like you just said, the clean water, the or lack of access to clean water, and then the only exit, there's only one, comes into play into this this zombie story or origin or however you want to look at it. So and it's part of the story. So it's really interesting and I can't wait to start talking about it.
Okay. The movie is also rated R. I did find an official rating for it. Cool. I only have one trigger warning, and that was through my perception of watching the movie. I'll add one for sexual assault. And it's, I know what you're talking about. Exactly. And so it is sometimes, in certain things, because people they do a very good job with when a subject, a sensitive content, they film it in a different way, or they might just hint at something. So that's why I included the warning for that.
Okay. So, all right, Alma, did we already say who's in the movie? I'm looking at my notes real quick. I
just wrote who wrote and directed it. There's a long list of...
Oh, there's a lot of people in this movie. So we'll just go through, I guess, when we go through and talk about the movie, we can mention everybody. Alma's going to help me with people's names because y'all know I never call anybody by their name. It's going to be Red Hat Girl or Dude with the Blue Shirt or whatever. So first of all, when the movie started, it was showing scenes of that area. Alma, can you remind me where this was filmed? I forget exactly where it's filmed. If you don't know, that's okay.
Oh, I didn't write it down. I apologize. I did see exactly the region that it's being filmed. I can just pull it up while you're talking. That way I can bring it up.
Because it is the cinematography is going over the entire area, and it begin the like what Alma shared the facts about the lack of access to water and all that, starts sharing that. So you start seeing that it's the dirty water, whatever water they do have access to is dirty. They show like people in like boats fishing, but when you look at the water where they're fishing from, the water is obviously contaminated or polluted. There is like, I remember when they were going under the bridge, and I don't know, like an idiot, I'm all like thinking like under the bridge. I'm thinking of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say that.
Yeah, really.
Okay, well, the movie is shot in Lagos, in a slum location in Ikeja.
Okay.
And again, I apologize for my pronunciation. Additional establishment scenes were shot around Bariga, while the police station scenes were shot in Compact E Scheduler, a film and television production company in Ikeja in 2014. Initial...
this movie was made in 2013, right?
I think it came out in 2014, but I think it started in 2013. Okay. So, yeah. And
I like the cinematography, though. I think they did a real good job in the beginning of setting it up, because if we're not familiar with this region of Nigeria, then, you know, all we're hearing is lack of access to clean water. What the hell does that mean? I mean, we kind of get an idea, but we don't know. So they do a nice opening where they're showing us what they mean by it. And then, so this was outside of the settlement. Then we come into the settlement and we start seeing you know, the people who live there, the residents of this place, and you start seeing that, like Alma said, there is one place, pump, whatever you call it, for water, and everybody is getting water from that one place. They're lined up, and they're bringing their own jugs to get the water from this one source. And then as you see them getting water from this one source, then you're also going out a little bit, and you're seeing people going and getting food from like these different people. Like they
refer to them like at kiosks,
kiosks, but it's like
they're like little shops. And I'm reminded of Mexico a lot.
Yes,
when we visit family. Although you know, of course it's a different location, but when we would go, there's like a little shop here, a little shop there.
Attached to your house, the houses sometimes.
Our aunt has one. Yeah. I don't know if she still has it, but when we used to go, her home was in the back, and she had like a little shop up front.
Yeah.
So everybody has like these little shops where you go get your supplies and food.
Yeah.
And it's and they had like completely random stuff, way better than the convenience store, because you're like, you only have one stop. You know, you're going to get your soap from there. You're going to get your food from there. Battery, whatever. But there were just, there's several. There was definitely at least 2 or 3 that you noticed that were there equally accessible.
And I remember that it reminded me of, because like, you know, you said like in Mexico, when we visit family, they have it like that. And then I've been very lucky to be able to travel, and I see it like in like different like places when I travel to. We saw it in Cuba, and then we saw it like in Laos and Vietnam and places like that. So if you've ever traveled, you've most likely seen these places. But the reason I bring it up is because it's coming from people's homes. And so that's important later. It's like people selling stuff out of their own homes, and that's going to come into play when this starts to spread, because we're all like, if you're getting meat from one place, then that's, you know, everybody's getting their meat from this person who maybe even cooked it already for you. You know, so it's like that's why. Okay, so like I said, they're doing all this showing us everything, the water, the food, everybody, and then we start seeing, oh my God, this part is just so hard. So we start seeing the characters. And there's these 2 guys that are just smoking out. They're smoking, getting high, and the funny thing is that because like Alma said, they're speaking pidgin, and I'm like, oh, I can understand some of these words. And
you'd hear a phrase or a word dropped here and there, and you understood it. It was like, what?
Yeah, but obviously we're not going to understand it all, because it's in other languages as well. But I just liked that I could understand it. Of course, nobody is obligated to speak my language, but I just liked that I could understand some of the things.
I get my interest peaked because I see so much intelligence and around the world in the fact that people speak multiple languages, or will know English, and they're you know, they'll need 2 or 3 languages, and I think that's like, oh my God, that's fucking, that is so smart. And oh my gosh, it's kind of like,
and then we're the dumbasses over here.
Yeah, we're dumbasses. Over there, they'll
at least 3 or 4 languages.
It's like, that's not really, that's not a natural, it's hard work. It's like, you have to learn. I mean, look at this. This pidgin is a mixture of 2 languages. They picked it up as a 2nd or 3rd language.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That takes so much intelligence.
That was rude of me to say crazy. Okay, so yeah, they're smoking, and there's a little kid. There's a fucking little kid. Now, okay, I'm not stupid. I know this happens in the world. I know due to different factors. I'm not going to get into it because y'all are smart people that are listening, you know. But it just freaked me the fuck out, because I think he was really smoking.
Yes, he was, wasn't he?
I think he was really smoking weed.
I think of childhood or
Yeah.
like earlier, you know, I mean, when we were children, you shouldn't be doing it. And they would have said, don't do it.
Yeah.
But you saw films and
Yeah.
kids and things, they were always just smoking when they were
Mhm.
young, or if they were working
Yeah.
class, they were the ones who were smoking out in the street,
Yeah.
little 8 or 10-year-old boy or whatever he was.
But he's definitely getting high, and it's like, I guess one of them is his dad. So this little kid is getting high. His dad's kind of egging him on, and the dad's friend doesn't like him for some reason. I don't think it really matters, just other than he doesn't like him and he wants to kick his ass or something. And they're high, they're drunk. It's all this stuff. So Fella is the dude that is the dad of the little boy. So the only reason I say that is because I think that's the only name I remember, because when I heard him calling him Fella, I thought he was calling him like fellow, like Fella. But no, that's his name, Fella. So Fella is standing there. They tell the little boy to go get something. I can't even remember. And so it's Fella and his friend. And all of a sudden we turn and we look and we see this drunk man just kind of staggering towards them. And this drunk dude, well, I think we all know this is a zombie movie. He's not drunk, but they think he's drunk, and they're all like making fun of him and like, oh, look at this dude over here stumbling, you know, coming home. Oh, by the way, guys, it is like fucking daylight out. It's in the middle of the fucking day.
Oh yeah.
They're all like out in the streets smoking weed. The little boy's smoking weed in public. They think this man who's staggering down the alleyway is drunk.
First thing to start off.
Yeah. So it's interesting because this is all kind of showing us the infrastructure, the economy, everything about this area is very poor, obviously, but there's still some levity in it because they're joking on this dude. So the guy comes up to them and they're like, oh, they think he's drunk, but then a confrontation starts. And I don't know why I said confrontation like that. Confrontation.
It's fancy.
It's fancy, yeah. So, all right. Like I said, we've established that Fella has a kid and that his friend wants to kick because this will come up later. The kid ran off. So he's not there. So it's just these two dudes and the zombie. And they still don't think it's a zombie. They just think it's a dude that's really, really fucked up. High on some shit that's like laced with something. This is all happening during their, I mean, it's not like they're sitting there saying, maybe he's high on, it evolves, the whole thing. And dude attacks them and they start a fight, but the zombie ends up chomping down on Fella. Right? Yeah, that's what happens, right? So, all right. And then we keep going on. So we start going and seeing more shots of the area. And I think the reason they did this is because, like we just said, they want to set it up why there's not a big scare at the beginning, because it's perfectly natural to see a dude walking down the street drunk off his ass or high off of some bad weed or something. It's perfectly normal to see a little kid running around, doing this, or these two other violent, again, bringing up the violence, being violent even against kids. So that when people are turning into vampires and being either staggering or being violent, it can be easily excused, like, oh, it's just, that dude or that person or whatever. So
I think it also plays into the small area minding your business.
That too, yeah, you're right.
You mentioned the infrastructure, and it's like when I mentioned in the beginning, it's like one exit, everybody's walking around all day. If you turn a corner, you got your own, it seems very private at the same time, even though anything can be seen out in the open. Yeah, it's still private because they showed that kid running away, and it's like he's walking forever and ever and turning the corner, and they know their area. Yeah, but it's out in the open at the same time, still private. Yeah. Little alleyways tucked away, yet the houses are connected almost completely. And yeah, so it's just very interesting. I think if you haven't had a chance to watch Ojuju, watch it, because not only is the story good, but also visually, it's like you do get lost in it. Because like you said, when the little boy is turning the corner and going here and there, and you're thinking like,
obviously this is his home, so he knows where he's going, but I'm getting lost.
To me,
and
I'm getting
like,
confused.
Yeah, it's like, where the fuck is he?
We've watched this movie on Kweli, by the way. We don't want to forget Kweli, Kweli, and
Kweli TV, yes. And but yeah, it's just very interesting. So we see, again, like we said, the guy that got excused for being a drunk who was high off of some bad shit. We got he bites down on I already forgot his name, fella. I'm so bad with names. I forgot it from a few minutes ago. And sorry about that. And okay. Now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to stare at the camera because I lost my train of thought. Okay,
so he got bit, and they're introducing the main character.
Oh yeah, that's right, because we're introducing the main characters here.
Because that guy's not the main character.
He's not.
He's like the main character, but he's not.
Yeah. So remember how we're talking about how everything's so close together, and like practically everybody knows everybody or knows of everybody. Well, everybody knows everybody's business too, because there are some. We see a shot of a woman who's a sex worker, and she's like walking down the street, and she sees one of the men that So I was a little confused here because she's a sex worker. But she also seems to be, I wouldn't say girlfriend, boyfriend, but then she also has like a relationship with that one guy, right?
Yes, that she lives with. She lives with someone.
Okay. So because she comes up to him and she's talking to him, this dude, it's a completely different guy. And I wish Alma would remember his name for me because I'm just going to keep saying this guy.
Oh, this guy, the main guy? Romero. Now,
Romero, because he's named after
George A. Romero. It's a nod too. So that there you go. You won't
Thank
forget
you.
it.
Now I won't forget it. So Romero is a player. He's a fucking player, and he walks up to this lady, and they're talking. And like I said, she's people know she's a sex worker, but people also know that she has relationships with several people. And the reason this is important is because Romero has a pregnant girlfriend. And so they're talking about her like in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Like everybody can hear their business, and she's all like, oh, you need to leave your pregnant girlfriend. He's like, nah, I really love her and all that stuff. But yet he's also excusing that he's going to keep fucking around, basically. And I'm just like, and people are just walking by and everything. And they're just like, again, everybody's talking about it out in the open. I'm like, okay. So I'm not faulting this lady, but it's just funny how she's all like, leave her, and we see this other woman walk up, and she's kind of hiding behind a little corner, and she's watching. I'm like,
waiting for the chisme.
And I'm like, oh shit, I thought that was the girlfriend. And I'm like, the girlfriend heard, but she's not saying shit. She's just watching, and she's taking all this in. And now this woman has got the goods, I thought, on her boyfriend, and she knows for a fact that he's cheating on her. But no. That wasn't the girlfriend. That was best friend to the girlfriend. So she runs back to pregnant girlfriend, who's visibly pregnant, and tells her, your man is fucking, what's her name? Aisha?
Yes, Aisha.
And she's like, okay. And this is what I found fascinating, because she was not bothered by this, because he comes home to her. And I saw an interview with the actress who played Aisha, and I love this interview because I'll see if I can.
Cool. Yeah, send it to me.
Yeah, I'll attach it to the show notes, because she's talking about her character and how she knows her boyfriend's a player, but she excuses it. She's fine because she knows that, again, he comes home to her, and also she has to accept that because that is their reality.
That's the father of her child.
So she knows that he's coming home to her, and then she's going to have the father of her child around, and then he is being taken care of by her because she has accepted her role also as the motherly figure to him. Anyways, I just found it a really interesting interview when I heard her describing her character. So Aisha is the one who is the sex worker. Again, normally it's not a big deal that she is, but it comes into play again later. So, but she's also the one that's, sleeping with Romero. And okay, now we're going to go to somebody else. I am confusing everybody here, Alma. You're going to have to help me keep everybody.
Okay, Alero is the pregnant girlfriend of the main character, Romero.
Okay.
Peju is the best friend of the pregnant woman.
Okay,
Peju.
she's the one that came in with the cheese man. She's all like, this is what's happening. Okay.
We can call this other guy enter Romero's friend, right?
Yes.
Romero's friend, his name is, I believe it's Emmy.
Oh my God, this dude.
Emmy. Well, just remember, like,
you know how every dude has that friend you don't really want around? Well, that's him. He comes.
Why? Why did you get rid of that friend? I was like, oh, it's funny because I'm not going to say it's exclusive to any particular type of group of people or anything. But I just feel like it's in film, TV, especially when it comes to men, they'll keep a man friend who they seem to tolerate more than they should. Like they know this guy is problematic. They represent it a lot in film and TV. It's what I'm trying to say.
And the reason that he's still around is because he's like a best friend from when they were kids or some shit like that. But so they're all sitting on the mattress. It's laying on the floor. And she's there. Like I said, remember how I said she's visibly pregnant? She's very pregnant. This woman looks like she could pop any day. And fucking dude says he's hungry. And they make her go get up and go get the food for him.
Yes.
And I was
and
like,
he wasn't even nice about it or anything.
No.
This is the best friend Emmy shows up. And Romero, I think, instructed her
I hate to say this too, because he basically, I don't think she has a choice, but he's very I wouldn't even say charming, but he's very nice about it, and I'm doing that in quotes because she's just kind of like, and the funny thing is, she's not, I don't look at her character as being a pushover either, because remember how, like I said, that when the actress was talking,
she's just not getting up and doing it. She rolled her eyes at him, made faces and everything. But I think Romero is he's loving towards her. He loves her. He is very affectionate. He's very happy that he's got this baby coming. Yes. He told Aisha so. He's like, that's my baby.
He treats her differently than he's treating the women that he's sleeping with. And they make a point of saying that throughout the whole movie. So he does love her. He really does love her, but it's not going to stop him from playing around. Okay, so we set up that we have this dude sitting there and he's eating this food that she made and she brought. Remember how I said it's like a communal food thing going on there? Everything's gonna make sense later, guys, I promise. Okay, so
and he asked for water. He asked for water that he had just brought home because he was the one at the tap who filled up the water supply. So he's
from the one water supply. So she gets him water and he drinks up. So now we have pregnant lady. We have Romero's friend who have eaten and they have drank some water. Okay, so now who are we going to go to? I'm going to go ahead and come to Aisha, okay? Because I'm skipping around a lot, but I'm just trying to get to the main points. And I know I'm skipping around a lot, but I'm just trying to get to the characters, like the big things about them. Aisha, I really like her character. She's complicated, yes, because she's like a real life person, and real life people are complicated, and there's more to their story than just what we're seeing on the screen. So like I said, she's a sex worker, but you could see she senses that, not senses, but she knows Romero's like a good guy. And I think that's why she was really wanting like him to leave his girlfriend, because she could see that there's something different about him. And I she wanted that. I mean, who you can't blame someone when they want that good thing. And, so I'm not faulting her in saying like, hey, leave your girlfriend, because dude's fucking her. So it's not like it's her fault. He's the one that's with the pregnant lady. So anyways, so she walks away from that whole situation earlier, and she comes and she's just like, okay, I'm just gonna basically screw my feelings away. That's the way I thought she was, took that whole situation. And she's just kind of like walking around, and she eventually gets like a customer, I would say. Is that or was he a friend as well? But anyways, the point I'm getting to is that this is the trigger warning portion. Now, remember how I said there was a zombie in the beginning? Well, we're starting to see that people are sick. They start off, it looks like a flu, like everybody's walking around coughing, fever, whatever. We see that fella from the beginning is really fucking sick as a fucking dog. He's like dying. Why is that a saying, sick as a dog?
I don't know where that comes from either, because I want to say it all the time and I stop saying it
Yeah,
because
and when
I feel
I
like it's
said it
offensive
right,
to dogs.
when I said it right now too, I felt kind of stupid
Oh,
saying
sorry.
it, but it is a saying. So I'm not going to say it again because it sounds really stupid. Anyway, so he's really sick. We saw a fellow was sick. So we're starting to see people sick. Now this gentleman that she decides that she is going to have relations with, he's sick.
Sick. Like, ugh, you know, like almost unconscious sick.
Gross sick. And this is where I felt like it was uncomfortable because
he was
he was not conscious when she had sex with him. So if that was the case, then like I said, then
he wanted her to go away.
Yeah.
And she did not listen.
And I will say she essentially raped him. He's not participating in this at all. The reason I probably would have just glossed over this part and not really mentioned, but I would have mentioned that it happened. But the reason I'm sitting on it a little while longer is because I'm going to keep adding on to things. So we have communal food, we have the one water source, dirty water, and now we have Aisha is having sex with someone who is obviously sick, infected, and the only contact she had with him is through that sex.
So we're talking about forms of transmission. That's why it's important to the story.
Yeah, because there was no kissing, there was nothing else. He didn't attack her, none of that. It was she essentially, raped him, and that there was transmission there. So, and like I said, she does have relations with other men, so you can kind of just guess that another way that this is going to be spread throughout the village. Do you want to save me here for a second?
Okay. So, let's see here. So, go back to Fella. Fella is sick. Yeah. And he also lives with a woman who is a sex worker. But I think they're in a relationship and somebody comes to visit him who's a police officer. And it's just a brief encounter. Yeah. But dude, does this guy love this woman? He's come to visit. She's like, make sure you have money. And he's like, I've got money. But he adores this woman's body. And I just thought that was really cute.
It was okay. Yeah, you're right. I was looking at him because I'll put aside.
She's got her man in the back, and he is sick. He got bitten, and
Fella is dying if he's not already dead. I'm just saying.
He definitely is. He needs to see a doctor. He needs to see somebody, and they've shown a couple of shots of sick people at those kiosk type shops trying to get medicine. And this officer comes to visit her, and she's like, I'm gonna get changed, but he's like all warm from her form, he's like all like, ooh, and I love that the way that he loves the way that this woman looks. And so what's his face is sick, and this I guess is to show that it's happening fast, it's here, and something's gonna go down. So
fucking Fella is, like I said, we said sick there. Dude is getting ready to go to town with this woman, but then she starts getting like fixed up and everything, and he's like, why do people always do this? He's all curious because he heard that Fella was sick, so he's like, ooh, I'm gonna go check out and see what's going on with Fella over there. So he walks in and he's all like being nosy and all this shit, and he sees Fella and he's like, ooh, what's going on over there? And I like it because everything's dark because it's daylight outside, but when you get into these places, there's not really windows or anything. It's like, they use curtains to close everything, so it's really dark, so you can't see. So that's why he has to creep up real close to Fella to see what the hell's going on. They also are talking about the smell, because apparently they stink horribly when they're sick, because they were talking about earlier, just like I said, it's like a putrid smell or something. I guess they're smelling like death. So dude walks up and fucking Fella, he's turned. He's fucking turned. And so we see another attack here. And go ahead.
Now, I think they do a really good job with this, because you're talking about no budget. Little to no budget. And the way that they show that their zombie is attacking others, is they're biting, they're definitely trying to eat them, but he'll show them with shots of like out of focus, in focus, panning around, so that way what's going on, and you still have the sense of everything that's happening without it looking bad.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can't make it look as good. So if it's a bite, it's in the dark. I think they used a lot of people to be the Ojuju, and they don't show it close. They're showing them from the back, leaning over, and the body, so they get attacked. I think
they like you said, they with the little budget, they did a really good job of also creating a vision of chaos. Because it's in this dark room, and there's, so anything that's happening, the camera's moving about, and it's like, oh my God, you're feeling it. And then later on, when we see all the zombie outside, everybody's running. So again, chaotic, going down the alleyway.
It's not like the shaky, disorienting kind. It's like the great usage of camera, like camera tricks, like to make it so you get the sensation of what's going on. You see some, but you're not getting like that zoomed in gore that you might get with the higher budgets and the better makeup and stuff like that. And
you're right. And the makeup, like you said, is just subtle enough. Because also we're talking about dark-skinned people. These are Black people in Africa. So you're not gonna, I think I mentioned this in an episode before, but like, when some certain people have health problems, you can see them very easily on people with lighter skin, fairer skin. And some diseases are really hard if you're just looking at someone with darker skin, to be able to spot them. So we're taught to like look inside the sclera, pull down the eye, look inside the gums, look at the fingernails underneath and stuff like that. So
I have been sick and I have been in the hospital, just like completely just like losing life in me. And I don't look pale. I don't, I'm like, so they use like red, and you can tell they're getting like flesh wounds and stuff like that.
But it's not obvious. Again, remember we said it's not going to be obvious. We have a drunk person walking down the street. We have a little boy who, and all these things that are going on that can still easily be kind of, brushed away or excused really easily. You can find or justified
like
really easily.
Too. Everybody's got a cough when you're in a tight knit community. Guess what happens? It's just like how we haven't been sick, but we're all starting to see each other again. Some people, you're gonna go back to school, whatever setting it is that you're jumping into. You haven't been at work for a while. Then you get coughs, and everybody is fucking coughing, and that's what's going on here. Like everybody's fucking coughing, and it's not a big deal, especially
until you get
when you're talking about low income or no income. When people are sick, we just fucking rub Vicks on it, drink some Sprite, fucking 7-Up or whatever the hell it is, and you shut up and you hold your cough and you be quiet. And so
remember holding her cough around mother?
Yes, just like I don't know if you ever had to hold your cough, but you're fucking sick as shit. And if you cough, you're gonna get the chancla, and you just hold it in. And so I see it, and I'm like, it's believable.
It's very believable.
Ignore that you're
so
sick.
Believable.
And most, until you're just really, really like needing to go to a doctor. Alero, the pregnant girlfriend, is coughing and sick now.
Now she's sick.
And Romero goes home to see her and try to take care of her, and he's trying to give her water. And you're like, okay, here you go. You have the pregnant woman in the zombie movie who is, you're like, are they going to kill the girlfriend? Is the girlfriend going to die? She's coughing or whatever. And it's like, do they go there?
They went there.
They went there.
But her death was accidental. But of course it doesn't matter because she still died. She starts attacking him, and of course he doesn't want to hurt her. But there's a part where he kind of pushes her off, and when she pushes her off, she loses her footing and she hits her head. And of course he's torn by this, because first of all, like, she was attacking him, so he's kind of shocked, but at the same time he's seeing his dead girlfriend, and then chaos is ensuing outside. It's like, I guess now incubation period is over. And there's a lot more people that have turned.
Yeah, and it's not just because that dude in the beginning who came and fucking bit Fella or whatever, that wasn't the first one. The kid went and he got bit too by someone. Everybody, I was thinking, like in Return of the Living Dead, where it's like, okay, this chick hit her head. There's no way to really kill them.
Yeah.
and if they die, they get it, they turn. If they're drinking the water, if they got it through sexual transmission, it's all the ways of becoming the Ojuju without knowing what you're going to do about it, because it's complete breaks down into complete chaos. And what a perfect environment to have the one entrance and one exit thing, because
you'll see it later at the end of the movie where you really realize, holy fuck, there really was only one way in and out. And it was not easy. It was not easy to get to. But okay, so the poor girlfriend she hit her head, she's dead. Romero's freaked out. He runs outside, and then when he runs outside, he's met with hell on earth. Everybody's running. And I love this because I read that a lot of the actual villagers in that area played some of the people. And I just thought, how fun. And you could tell. I always say I would love to be one of those people running by. They're like running like, ah!
Yeah, some people, I watched it. Maybe a couple of people in my family saying, I love how some of them took it real serious. Like some of them were like, okay, dude, seriously?
Oh my God, it was great.
Some of them just threw themselves completely into it, but also using the villagers and stuff like that. And most of the time when you see this type of movie, like the zombie movies or whatever, they don't show kids or children or babies.
Oh no, yeah.
And in this one, there were children and kids and babies. And the moms and the old people and everything. So they're just all kind of like action, run around, and but also do stupid shit because you got to get eaten too. Yeah. In the meantime,
it was great. It was great. I loved it. I love seeing it because also it showed that chaos. It showed the chaos of like. You could believe it that you couldn't get away from the zombies or the Ojuju because you have these narrow passageways and you have to go that way if you're trying to get out. So you're going to take your chance.
Like a maze.
Yeah. So you're going to take your chance because you think, okay, maybe I can get by, but sometimes you can. But then that person gets caught, and
then you might bump into a little crowd.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Sorry, I keep using that word. I apologize. But yeah, so it's just you have to take your chance, and that's why it's believable in this one that they're gonna get you, and that why would you go down that alleyway? Well, it's the only motherfucking way out. You have to go down the alleyway.
Also, housing. Yeah. Some people have their structure, their home structure is completely solid, and other people don't. Yeah. Other people, like you mentioned, the curtain closing off. Some people have a window. Some people don't have a window. Some people are living like a three-way or a lean-to. So it's like, where do you go hide? Where do you go hide? Where you go? I thought it was a perfect environment for this kind of situation to happen, because it goes from maybe what's going on here to we're fucked. Yeah. And it's over. And it goes from that to that in a good way, where he shows how that happened, utilizing this little maze of an area.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's a maze, but they know the way out. They just have to, it just sucks. So Romero meets up with, remember how we said pregnant girlfriend's friend,
Peju, and Emmy, his gross friend.
Yeah, so Emmy wasn't from the one from the beginning that saw fella get bit and thought that they all just thought it was a drunk dude. And then you said Emmy is the pregnant girl's best friend who
Peju is the pregnant girl's best friend.
Sorry. Peju. So I told you guys, I don't know fucking names. I apologize.
But the three solid characters, these are going to be like your three.
These are the core now.
And Emmy is his gross friend. I called him gross because he was just like, he showed up in the way that he was like pretty much like demanding food or whatever. And he's sick now too. Yeah. He's sick and he's coughing. And I was looking at him like, when are they going to realize?
But I was surprised though that, I'm not surprised because people are complex. Like I said earlier, people aren't one dimensional. So he was like a pig before and gross and like, ugh. But he was very useful during this time period because they were getting shit done. They were grabbing weapons. They were taking care of business, all three of them. So, I mean, of course, people aren't one dimensional. So he was very useful during this time. But like Alma said, he was infected and He was called, I say infected. I don't even know what you would call it here, but yeah, he had the thing, the Ojuju juice running through him already.
I like that Ojuju.
Ojuju. So he was going to be turning eventually, but while he was, able to, help them. So
they meet up, but kind of accidentally. It's only because they kind of bump into each other. So they're not really working together, but at the same time, they are working together because they separate again, but then end up meeting back up together where they establish that we are overrun, that I can't find a way out. I went to the entrance and the exit. Peju, the woman, she comments that she went both ways to try to get out, but there was no way for her to try to get out. And so they're just basically trying to hide out in the open, but using their passageways to get out. And Emmy is sick, and I pretty much put like he coughed to death. He coughs himself to death while they're having a conversation of, if Alero, my girlfriend, is dead, and all these people had coughs and they're dead, then doesn't that mean eventually we're gonna die from the same thing?
Oh God, the way like they realize when he
has the realization that we're all sharing water and food. He says it, right? He says like we're sharing all the same water and the food. We're all sleeping together. We're all fucked. And Emmy just dies, but they're still trying to be helpful to him because I think they figure at least like if they die, they're gonna become the Ojuju, and then he comes back and he's attacking them and they have to fight him off. They're like, why do we have to do this? That's awful. And but all they really have to is just like bats or sticks or something.
They're just using whatever the fuck. Yeah, exactly. It's not like we see a zombie movie here, like we can get a gun or something. No, they're just using there was like literally buckets. I remember one of them was running around with a bucket. So they're using what's around them, but I don't know. I just liked them when they were working together. So we go on with these two characters, and I don't know, like you said, it's not like they were working together, but they are, because they know they need to use each other to survive. It's not like they hate each other either. So they're just like, she didn't like the fact that he was fucking around, but still, I mean, they want to survive. And Romero is, again, these complex characters. I don't know, he's still, I want to say grieving, because I think he's still in shock, but he keeps mentioning obviously his girlfriend, and I just I felt really bad for him.
Yeah, I think he's heartbroken. The thing is that he is, because he I know because
he doesn't get a chance to cry. That's why I said grieving, but I mean everybody grieves differently.
But he has a loss of something, and they're not having any time to do anything about it. So he is. They end up back at her place, and she's like, "Can you lay down with me? So can you sleep with me, please? Because I don't want to sleep by myself." Because she's scared.
She did, and she didn't mean like fuck. She just meant sleep next to me. Bodies next to me so that I feel safe. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that to my girlfriend. And it's like,
she just rolls over, but he does get in bed with her. And then he's literally just crying himself to sleep. Like, just from the loss of what he had. And I really think a huge part of it was the fact that he was going to have this baby, and he doesn't have a baby anymore. That was something that he was very proud of, that he was going to have a child, and then they cry themselves to sleep, which is really fucking sad, because they don't do anything. They don't make a plan. They're not trying to get out.
Yeah, they're not talking about we're gonna in the morning when we get up do this.
No, they're fucked. And so that with the time that the day breaks, they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And they're like, "Well, we're fucking hungry." And so who sneaks out?
God, I think it was him.
Okay, so Romero, he sneaks out. And he finds a shopkeeper in one of her shops, and she's huddled and hiding. And she's like, just take whatever. She was like, she was waving him like, just do it. Yeah, because nobody had seen her. And so he manages to grab a bunch of like snacks, whatever random is left over and strewn about. But she thinks that she has like a window to run. You can tell she's been hiding there for a while. Yeah. And she takes off, and she's eaten as well. So it just goes to show that you can hide for a long time
And you could probably run and be okay, but sometimes it's just like it's the luck of the draw. Yeah, she'd been there for a while. Romero was able to come over there undetected. She should have been able to run away undetected, but it didn't happen. She got got.
He gets back with some snacks, and that's what they eat. It's real sad.
It's really sad.
Because it also, when you live in an environment like that, are you really stockpiling your food and supplies?
No. You're living day to day.
Yes, exactly. And so that adds more to the sadness of this story, because it's like, I think of it being a poor as children.
Yeah.
And our mom, she stockpiled what she could. And we're not like we never had nothing. Like, I mean,
and when we say stockpile, we just mean like maybe 4 cans of corn versus 1 can of corn.
Yes, exactly. Enough for a few days, but there were certain supplies that mother always stocked up on, like soap and toothpaste and stuff like that, hygiene products. But when you're not used to, you grow, I don't know how it is for you, but I tend to stockpile things.
I still hoard food.
Because
that's really bad.
If you've ever had an empty cupboard or a fridge, when you have the moment to do it, and we can say this kind of laughingly because there's not a time in my house.
Your place is really well stocked.
Where you come to my house, because I don't like that feeling. And this environment. If you're so watch this movie and it is a lot of dose of reality, because it's like, how do you not have this? That's what I hated during hurricane times. Or when it froze here in Texas and people were dying and everything,
like literally dying.
I was like, just empathy, man. Fuck.
Not everybody has the same circumstances and everything.
How did we heat up our home, Dalia, when it was fucking cold outside? God.
So apparently you're not supposed to do this, because as a grown-up, I found out we're not supposed to do this. So before I'm going to say this part too, well, we had a gas stove. Now, nowadays, if you have a gas stove, it's like, ooh, you got a gas stove. But we had a gas stove because we were poor. And poor people had gas stoves, and the rich people had the electric, because that was a novelty, you know? So, but anyways, we had a gas stove, a very old gas stove. We used to turn on the burners.
All 4 burners. Turn on the oven and open the door.
And we'd stand there. And before you say you live in South Texas, we still get cold fronts. And when you're not used to the cold weather, it's fucking cold as fuck.
We had freezes, and if your house isn't insulated and there's holes in the wall and you're living between a literal sheet of wood, and what was that paneling that the outside of our house was made out of?
Oh, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Aluminum siding. If you're in that and you're inside, there's no warmth. There's no we didn't have wood burning.
But it's so funny that we used to heat up at the stove, because they tell you now, whenever those health alerts or whatever come out, say don't do that because of the carbon monoxide. But we were all up in there.
We had it on all day and night. And what was it was really funny about it too was is like, with the door open, you could have easily just fallen on it and fucking burned alive.
Because we had such a small house, and the little pathway between the wall and the stove was already small, so you had to like go like shimmy, sideways to get by, and you could have easily tripped and fallen into the oven. Not like you would have been baked. I'm not stupid, I know that, but you would have gotten burned the fuck up. Really bad if you ever, and none of us ever fell.
We never did, and we were tiny, so we were super smart, and that's why I'm always so proud that Dalia and I are here today, alive and unburned. Well, I did get burnt that one time,
but that was different.
That was different. That was boiling water.
That was boiling water, and a completely different story, and that involved our older sister. So,
but the point is in the movie is I saw a lot of reality in it.
It's all believable. Exactly.
Completely just, and it was so true to my to my being, like, understanding how fucked you are if you're in this environment and shit hits the fan.
And real quick, I just want to say, we're not comparing ourselves to people who are really living.
Hell no.
But from all we're saying is, from our experience, we can see how how this makes the story true. Because some people may look at the story and say, "Oh, that's not really," no, but it is, because we didn't live like as with as many hardships. But we can see that if you're not having food on a daily basis, or the clean water or whatever, all of that adds up. So now we have Romero.
I think it's just more easier to empathize.
Yeah, exactly.
By myself, I think that we'll get back into it, but I just wanted to say I think it really, because of where we came from, our environment, it just helps me empathize a lot easier with people from all walks of life. Okay, so we're back, and they got their supplies. And now they're little bigger supplies, and they eat a little bit. And
they think they have the strength. We're gonna go for it. We're gonna get out of here, Alma. We're gonna fucking get out of here. Are we gonna get out of here, Alma?
No.
Tell me, are we successful?
No, we're not successful.
What happened?
Romero, he is he's running around. Basically, it's like running around with chickens, like chickens with their heads and all. And he bumps into his woman. And she's pregnant, and she's just walking around with the rest of the town folk, and there's people getting eaten left and right, and he is just completely distraught. He's trying to beat things off, and he is overtaken. And I couldn't believe that they had that happen. I thought he was going to be the final boy. And so he is overtaken by the Ojuju, and he is eaten alive. And I thought it was a really good scene because of the horde of people and the way that it kind of shows the overtaking of him, and he's gone. But it also felt like he wasn't really even trying to get away.
It didn't seem like it, because he could have gotten away from her. He could have pushed her down. He could have done something to her, and he didn't. And I'm not saying that he wanted to die. I think he just didn't want to do anything to her.
Yes, like he couldn't bring himself to doing anything to her. And then Peju, she gets away running, and she's beating off shit left and right. But it's seriously
like the scene, though, the way that we're seeing her going down the different corridors or alleyways or whatever you call it. I'm like, how the fuck does she even know where she's going? But she does. She does, because she gets to the entry, exit, whatever you want to call it.
She gets the thing, and it's just like a bustling little.
And she fucking flies out of there, and then she's in a major city, urban area, and that's what was fucking crazy.
Yes, all this busyness of like regular life is going
cars, because there were no cars.
Is burning the fuck down behind her. But she makes it out. She escapes, and it's like, do you find a phone? Whatever. What the fuck do? You get in a car and you try to get as far away.
She wanted to get as far away, so she got into a dude's car, which I thought was a taxi, but apparently it wasn't.
It wasn't.
No, because he's telling her. She's telling him, just take me. I got money. And he's like, I'm not taking you anywhere. And she's like, I got money. So, you're going to pay me? You're going to pay me? Okay. It was just a random car she got into.
Okay. Well, then he decides to, one time that happened to me too. Somebody tried to get in my car thinking I was Uber. But anyway, but she's sick. She's sick, and she's coughing in the car. So you're like, she didn't make it away.
She didn't make it.
But they show the car driving away, which shows the virus escaping out into the rest.
And then they show they pan out so that you can see now they're in the city, in the fucking city. Because remember how I said there's no cars in the village where she just came from, and I don't even know if it's called the village, because it's somehow within the structure of the city. But anyways, I'm going to call it village just for the sake of my own brain being able to understand. So they're in that little area, and then it's right next to the city, and that's what I couldn't get over, because
it's right there,
but yet they were so just fucking disconnected from it.
Yes, and it is such a real world thing, you know. It's right there, but we're here.
So good. It was so good. The camera worked the way it ended up panning out, so you can see. Oh my God, it's gonna spread everywhere, and everybody's fucked. Everybody's fucked. Oh, it was so good.
And then you see that extra scene in the end?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you want to tell it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, it was just this woman. Oh my gosh! First of all, I did write a note about it, and I want to see how I described her. I don't even know.
Okay.
A lady comes down to the police station. And a lady comes out with her brother to bail out her brother. Yes, to bail out her brother. And they're kind of giving each other shit back and forth.
And it's so funny.
I don't need to have my identification. And he's all like, yes, you do. And she's like, no, I don't. And but though I just thought the woman was beautiful, and I wrote down that she was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it was a nice comedic little
ending,
Yes,
even though.
But I thought of it as kind of like the juxtaposition of this poor area that they were in, and now they're out in the real world. This woman obviously is like well off because she is beautifully dressed, immaculate, and she's coming to bail out her. That's all you need. You only need the money to get my brother. You don't need to know who I am. I'm just here to pick up my brother. And so then when they take her in to go see her brother, he is getting eaten by the officer. Dun 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 dun.
The one that was having a relation.
Dalia, I thought you were doing this.
No,
I was like, she was pointing. Oh,
I wasn't doing that motion. I was pointing with my thumb.
She was pointing with her thumb. That he was the one who went to go see the sex worker who got eaten by Fella. Yeah. So he obviously got turned as well and from this.
Went to work.
Went to work. Yeah. And then he went to work and he's eating the people.
But it was I liked it. I really liked it because it was like the writer said. They did things that were true to their area to make it a true zombies film for that area. And it was good. I loved it. And the fact I can't get over, because I mean, yes, low budget, I get that, but no budget. And they thought got their really
equipment through like pro bono, like people offered it for free, and it's like, dude, you can do it. You can do it. You want a movie?
And they did. They
can do it.
They did a good job because the core actors were like they were actually good, and then they used the residents of the area to add on to what was going on around. The little makeup they used, they didn't overdo it because they knew it would look hokey. Because because again, we talked about how on darker skin it's just not going to show up all that much, but let's make them look a little sick. The coughing sounded so good. I don't know
how do people cough when they don't need to cough?
I have no idea. And then the cinematography was done really well. The parts where they got to make sure that we understood the lack of access to water, the area, all of that stuff. They did such a good job of putting the story together completely for us that even if we hadn't done any research ahead of time, we could see why this could spread so easily there and why it could happen. So I say watch it even if you heard us all the way to the end and what we told you, because I do a bad job of telling stories and remembering anybody's name. So when you watch it, you could see everybody's story. And like I said, I
give
just
these
really
films
like
a watch when because the thing is that I want to see this guy do more movies.
I
want him to have a big budget. Or bigger, any budget, so that way he does another good story that pulls you in, and
because you were rooting for these people, because like I said, everybody was complicated. Aisha, she, you could say she was technically,
I thought she was looking for love,
and but I was gonna say you could technically say she was trying to steal someone else's man, but she wasn't really. But yet look at her, she was a complicated character. She just wanted companionship. And then you have fucking Romero over here who's fucking screwing around on his girlfriend, but he loved her. He fucking loved her. And then everybody else, it's like everybody had a story, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that everybody had a story. And so I was rooting for everybody. There was nobody that I wanted to die. Because even fucking Fella, who we only got to know for a few minutes in the beginning, that was a fucking drug runner and all that shit. He loved his boy, and he told his friend, "Don't fucking kick my boy's ass. Don't touch my boy."
And he had a woman.
Yeah. So I mean, again, everybody's multi-layered enough so that not just enough, because they're like real human beings. But it so that you were rooting for everybody. You didn't want anybody. I didn't want anybody to die. So, anyways, that's just maybe the officer, but. That's mean. That was mean of me. I was like, what? Because he just seemed kind of skeezy. Because we got no development from him.
No, that's true.
He was the only one we didn't get any development from. Because even the girlfriend of Fella, even though she was gonna screw the officer right next door, right in the same house as Fella dying over here. She was still protective of him, because when people were trying to come over to the house to see him, remember, she was shooing them off and taking care of him. So even she was still very protective, and you could see that aspect, that motherly aspect of her. So again, like I said, but the officer was the only one I didn't get anything from. They didn't know story development for him. He just came in And he's like,
That's true.
Give me some.
Oh, he's an officer, and he shouldn't be visiting the sex workers.
So it was just like I got
because you know they're always trying to arrest people and stuff. So let's just get angry with him so we can choose somebody that we don't want to see alive, and then he fucks it up for everyone because everyone's gonna get sick. We'll blame it on him.
Yeah, there we go.
He was the one who left the city, so even if she had it, he was out there.
He was already starting.
I forgot about that.
He was already starting trouble. All right, notes, and don't forget to head on over to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review and tell us something nice. You know, like Alma, you have a beautiful laugh. Yay! I don't know why I said it like that. What is wrong with me?
Now I'm gonna laugh all weird. I didn't I? Oh, damn it. Okay, but you know, everybody wants it to hear something nice once in a while. Why don't we just
tell Alma something nice on Apple Podcasts when you give her a 5-star review? Yeah. I don't know why I'm doing that. I apologize. There's something wrong with me. Just ignore me and just pay attention to the fact that Alma always gives a great story and knows what the fuck is going on. All right, everybody. So thank you for listening. And until next time.
Bye-bye.